Yeah, hello and welcome. Today we want to talk about Assassin Cutthroat build. So first of all, you can see me here digging graves and I get engaged by this ranger. So what you can do is you can use your engage to get away. So you turn away from the target, jump backward, then turn around by 180 degrees and use the skill in the same direction. That's great for movement. You also have the shadow step here on the one, but we'll get into the build later. Here you can actually see how I can get away from a fight and choose to engage myself from out of stealth. So that's what you want to do most of the time with this build. This has very, very high damage that comes from your decimate. This build also has a poison application and the backstab that has quite low cooldown. And you can see here there's a ranger. I think we should be quite similar equipped because this particular fight I was doing on an assassin with blue dropped daggers with around 70 damage, I think. I'm not perfectly sure, but somewhere in that line. If you have crafted weapon, your damage will be definitely higher. So I can also recommend you for that build to go with a heavy main hand weapon, because since you're a pip user, the heavy main hand weapon only increases the cooldown of your skills, and with the decimate, which is your main damage ability, that being on a higher cooldown is not that much of a drawback, because you're gonna have to use other skills to get up to 5 pips in the meantime anyway. And the fastest way to get up there is auto attacks without any movement. And so then you maybe have to wait 1 second for the decimate, but in that time you can also squeeze in any other ability. Like for example here, that what I have on my shift 2, the In the Fray, which gives you 75 attack power and 10% damage reduction. Or the shift 3, the Fairy Fire, which increases the chance that you hit the enemy with a critical. Yeah, and I would say now I make a little bit of advertisement for my channel, and then we look into the build, and then we're already done with the video. Yeah, hello, if you like my content, please hit the subscribe button. If you're thinking about buying Crowfall, go to my website crusaderw.com. You'll find the link below in the description. There you're gonna find a 10% discount code. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to drop by on my Twitch channel. I'm often streaming Crowfall. I'm happy to answer all your questions, or ask me directly on Discord. And now let's jump to the video. Let's do this. Let's look into the build of the assassin. So here we have our talents. So we basically we have to take the backstab and the In the Zone. We take this talent thing down here. This gives us effectively 11% more critical damage. We take that extra 30 dexterity and the basic attack damage, because we do quite a lot of basic attacks. We do the Shiv that applies poisons to our attack. To my current understanding, you want to start out with the 1E, which applies the Black Mantle to the target. Unless you don't want it too slow, then you use the 1-1 combo. Then you take the extra stud bundle for another 40 dex and 20 intellect. That's again more damage. You also take the Sneak stack, a great opener from stealth. It also generates 2 pips. Then you have the Kidney Stott. This is your on-demand stun. I would use this mostly when I'm on 1 pip, because 3.25 seconds the target will most likely have a retaliate in the meantime anyway. Then I take the additional minor discipline slot. I take the Disengage, a great movement ability. Basically you dodge 16 meters away and then you dodge 15 meters towards the target, getting you a pip and increasing your damage as well. You take the minor slot, you take the Dirty Tricks, which blinds the target. If you decide to change the build and take the Reckon, this one also knocks down the target instead of blinding it. Then you go the Cutthroat, pretty obvious. Your Kidney Shot gives a barrier. Your In the Zone gives you movement speed, and your backpack has reduced cooldown, and it's always distributed from behind. Then you have the Decimate, which is your main damage dealing ability. You want to spam this on cooldown. When you're using it on an exposed target, this also gives you 2 additional pips, so you can really think about probably dropping this stat bundle and saying, hey, I don't need that 11% extra critical damage. I'd rather go for the Reckon because I like that playstyle better than do that. Then you take this because you have to, and then we go Shadow because of the disciplines that we're choosing. I'm going with Night Stalker primarily for the feeding time, which is your life leech. You get life back when you deal damage. And the Scrapper, so your Retaliate knocks down, and you have In the Fray, which gives you extra attack power, and a 10% personal damage modifier, which means you take 10% less damage for 15 seconds. Then we have Careless Whisper, which gives you a critical strike and critical damage buff after 5 auto attacks within 12 seconds for 7 seconds. Shadow Lingers, which increase your critical damage by 25 for 6 seconds after exiting stealth. And then you have Payback, which gives you another 50 critical strike for 30 seconds until you crit 3 times. So basically after Retaliate you crit a lot. So might make sense to Retaliate when you are high on thing, or basically use your Decimate as the 3rd auto attack, so you make sure that crits. Is there anything else to say? Probably weapons. With this particular build, I go with a heavy weapon in the main hand, just because I want my Decimate to hit as hard as possible. This, of course, increases your cooldown significantly because you're a pip using class. Of course, you want to have a poison equipped for shift to work properly. If you have those things for the slot belt, I think best in slot would be the Moonstone Skull, which gives you 2% critical strike chance. Anything on the belt that gives you 2% damage bonus. This shouldn't be very, very hard to get. And the Trial of Yaga, which gives you increased critical damage by 3%. I'm also going to link the build in my character builder. Thank you for watching the guide. Bye bye, see you soon.